Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
Okay, I have a motion. I need a second.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tim Lovelace,
Yes.
Carl Ray,
Yes.
David Eaton,
Yes.
Steve Breeding,
Yes.
Rebecca Dye,
Yes.
Horace Christian,
Yes.
and Luann Wallace.
Yes.
This is a certification of closed session pursuant to subsection 2.2-37D, 12D of the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended. Each member of the Board of Supervisors, upon roll call, certifies that to the best of their knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters that were identified in the motions by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by the Board of Supervisors. Any member of the Board of Supervisors who believes that a departure from these requirements shall stay so prior to the vote, indicating the substance of that departure in his or her judgment that has taken place. Are there any supervisors who believe a departure has taken place? Being none, if you agree that the matters heard, discussed, or considered during the closed meeting were pursuant only to the motions by which the closed meeting was convened, please signify by saying yea or yes. Tim Lovelace,
Yes.
Carl Ray,
Yes.
David Eaton,
Yes.
Steve Breeding,
Yes.
Rebecca Dye,
Yes.
Horace Christian,
Yes.
Luann Wallace.
Yes.
Ma'am, you have approval to turn to regular session.
Thank you very much. And so at this time, I'm going to ask everyone to rise for the invocation and remain standing for the pledge.
Father God, Lord, we love you, we thank you, and we praise you today, Father. Father, we ask you to be with us during this time, and thank you for allowing us to come out and be a part of this meeting, Father. Father, help these leaders make decisions that are that work with you, Father. Keep us safe and take us home safely. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I'll ask for an approval of the agenda, and we have some amendments on there. Mr. Lester.
Yes, ma'am. I would, County Administrator, request that line item number 11, the Vdot resolution for the Route 58 Sundown Drive project be added as number 11, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion we approve this agenda with the addition of line item 11 under County Administrator.
I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
Got a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Now, at this time, we're going to have some acknowledgments. And these acknowledgments are for service that is outstanding in the roles that these gentlemen, which happens to be two gentlemen, that they have played in this county and in this region. So at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. C.H. Wallace to come up. He's going to have a retirement party pretty soon, and he's retiring after 26 years of service to the town of Honaker. And Mr. Eaton, please. Make sure you read his plaque if you don't mind, Mr. Eaton, okay?
Get my specs on here so quick. Russell County Board of Supervisors presented to C.H. Wallace in appreciation for 26 years of service as the mayor of Honaker and for leadership and guidance on various boards serving the town of Honaker and surrounding area in Russell County. Here's C.H.
Give him some applause, please.
Is everybody gathered in? Y'all move over here. Before C.H. sits down, I'm gonna say something. I had the honor to serve with C.H. as a town councilman. And I'll tell you, you won't find anybody that has a heart for a community like C.H. Wallace. Not only that, with all the things that he was able to put together in the work and the time and the hours he
And next, we move over to another gentleman whose years of service is just an acclamation to what he does. And his name is Mr. Jim Baldwin. And he has served as the Cumberland Plateau Executive Director for some time, and he's got 50 years of service. So, Mr. Baldwin, if you will come up here, we'd like to congratulate you and give you a plaque.
I'm gonna make you look good, Chief. Russell County Board of Supervisors presented James A. Jim Baldwin with deep gratitude for 50 years of service with Cumberland Plateau Planning District Commission, providing leadership and guidance to the communities to further advance services for Russell County and its citizens. 2022. Congratulations.
Good.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a real ride for me. From 1972, Groundhog Day, I started working, and I tell people I wake up every day and I go to the same office, I work with the same people. But it's almost that way. But working in regional organization like theirs with their individual counties, Russell, Tazewell, Buchanan, and Dickinson, we've accomplished a whole lot. And the IDA folks, the FAM folks, CH, Tony, Jennifer, our town leadership has been great, and we've had a wonderful board to work with. Counties have sent us people who want to serve on their board, but they love the fact that we walk in the door and we work together as a region to make good things happen. And it's been an honor to work with a lot of you and this board, and thank you very much for this. I'll take it home and find a good place to
Thank you, Jim.
Great job.
50 years.
another one of my Homemaker High
Thanks for everything.
classmates.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
All right, moving on, we now come to the presentation piece. And at this time, the Russell County IDA, chaired by Mr. Richard Lockridge, will do a presentation for us. And thank you all for coming. You're well represented here tonight.
Yes, we are. I don't need the mic.
Yes, you do.
I have to do it for recording purposes.
There we go. Well, good evening. I want to thank you all for allowing me to come tonight and to be on the agenda and speak for a few minutes on behalf of the Russell County IDA. I want to also take this opportunity to thank the members of the IDA that are here tonight. Thank you. Also, I want to thank Mrs. Wallace for her guidance a few weeks ago on communication. And on that note, we hope to be coming here on a regular basis to answer any questions that you may have. Many times, we, the IDA, cannot disclose certain dealings to you, the Board of Supervisors, or to the public. However, it is important for us to come in front of you and be available to try to answer any questions. Again, Mrs. Wallace, thank you for that leadership. Tonight, I would like to share with you some data that we, the IDA, are very proud of. In the recent past, our county has seen the following. Overall, 451 full-time equivalents and 31 part-time equivalents with an investment of $24.4 million. That's broken down in the following. Samuel pressure vessels, 300 employees, with a $5 million investment. JM Conveyors, 60 employees with a $6.5 million investment. Polycap, 42 employees that will be growing over the next year with a $12 million investment. Small business employers, 49 full-time equivalents and 31 part-time equivalents with a $900,000 investment. Also very important, in 2020, you as a board matched funds that saved 65 jobs for 20 employees, so thank you. Our successes are a product of experienced business folks, continuity of membership, and a historical perspective of the ID and county by our older members. Tonight, you as a board can help us to continue the path that will be beneficial for the citizens of our county by reappointing Mr. Carlton Elliott to the IDA. Carlton exemplifies experience with a historical perspective of the county's industrial activities. He has been working in many different capacities since 2008 for the IDA. In 2016, you, the board, appointed him, and we immediately made him secretary-treasurer, and he's had that post ever since. We, the IDA, are presently working on projects that will hopefully transform our county and even the Coalfield region with good-paying jobs. It is absolutely important at this juncture that we continue our continuity of membership and experience with our monetary dealings. We need Carlton Elliott to be reappointed. So I hope you as a board will see it in your wisdom to reappoint Mr. Carlton Elliott. I appreciate your time and thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lockridge. And I want to say to each of you sitting here representing the IDA this evening, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your dedication. I like what you do. I question it sometimes, but you know what? That's what makes us unique in this area and how we can work together. And so if we can just continue this, I appreciate it. Thank you. Come often, every month if you want to. We appreciate it. Okay, moving along, let me find my place, excuse me. So we need the approval of the minutes. I need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Got a motion from Mr. Ray. I need a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Breeding. Discussion, if you may. I would like to make a point on the minutes for myself that it was not a unanimous vote on the CIFA appointment last time. So Lou Wallace was a no, if you all will remember, and you've got me down as a yes. So that's going to come to light here shortly in this meeting. But anyway, just so you know, I'd like to have that change. So with that slight change, are we still good to go? All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, so moving on to expenditures, please. I'll accept a motion for expenditures.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Thank you, Mr. Eaton. I need a second.
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Christian. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Committee appointments for board consideration. We have the Industrial Development Authority. Mr. Carlton Elliott is up for a 4-year term, starting tomorrow.
I'd like to make a motion that we put Carlton Elliott back on the IDA.
I have a motion for Carlton Elliott. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Well,
We must have several. I'll take either one. All right, all in favor? Any opposed?
I just got for discussion.
Oh, discussion, okay.
I
Sorry.
would like to say how much I do appreciate you all. And I know, as a business owner, when you hire somebody that you train and teach and they work through your company, it's almost impossible to lose that employee and try to get somebody to fill that because you got to start all over. And as a business owner, I kind of look at you guys as business owners in a business type function. And that, what you had said there, Mr. Chair, is that continuity is so critical. And I know you all have potential projects in the works right now, and we don't want to, I don't want to sway that in any way that would cause any issues to have to try to fit somebody else in somebody else's shoes to try to work that. Carlton, I appreciate what you do as the Treasurer Secretary of the IDA. I appreciate all of you. You don't know what a critical aspect it is to have such a good team bringing industry in here and getting these jobs for people. So I just want to let you know that.
All right, we've got a motion, a second, a lot of discussion. Thank you, David. You saved us all. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carlton, welcome back for 4 years, starting tomorrow.
You got another 4-year sentence.
We appreciate you. All right, next we have on our list the Cumberland Plateau Housing Authority, and that is Ms. Judy Lockridge, who is asking to be reappointed, and I have had a letter asking for her reappointment, and I think most of you all have. I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I'd like to put Judy Lockridge up for reappointment for another 4-year term.
I'll second it.
If you'd like to look at her resume, I've got it here. It's almost as thick as our agenda.
It is in our book, and yes. So we have a motion and a second for Ms. Lockridge to be reappointed. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Welcome back, Ms. Lockridge. Okay, at this time, we will have citizens' comments. So do we have a list? Okay. And those who are wishing to comment, we welcome any and all comments. You can throw rotten tomatoes or whatever, but you're going to get 3 minutes to do so.
Can we use the clock we had in the back?
Okay, the first one out is Miss Sandy Hess, Swords Creek.
Yes, my name is Sandy Hess from Swords Creek. First, let me say that I am not speaking under the instruction, direction, or even permission of the Department of Social Services. I'm speaking as a concerned Russell County citizen. I would like to comment on the direction and procedure of the passing of an amended ordinance that took place at the regular May meeting. As you all know, DSS requested a bonus to be given to their employees out of a surplus of money that was allocated to DSS. The Board of Supervisors requested that it go back to the local DSS board to approve and to set the amount of the bonus. This was done in a special called board meeting on April the 12th. The majority of the DSS board voted for and approved a $500 bonus from the surplus money. An ordinance was drawn up, and the ordinance was advertised for 2 weeks in accordance with Virginia Code 15.2-1427F. The ordinance was placed on the agenda to be voted on as the RC-DSS employee bonus. This particular ordinance was never voted on. Ms. Dye made the motion as the Board of Supervisors representative on the Board of DSS to amend the ordinance to $250 for all county employees from the ARPA money. This was done, it's my understanding it was done without any of the DSS's board's knowledge or approval. This board proceeded to pass the amended ordinance. However, this was not an amended ordinance. This was an entirely different ordinance. Almost every word had to be changed: the title, the source, the amount, the recipients, the grantors, etc. The ordinance was never advertised and there was no public comments. I requested a copy of this ordinance over 30 days ago, and I have still not received a copy. The delay was explained to me by Ms. Patton that she had not finished drafting the ordinance. So this ordinance was voted on and approved, and it doesn't actually exist. I'm aware that this is not a question-answer forum, but I would like at some point answers to my questions. Is it legal to amend, vote on, and pass an ordinance that doesn't exist? Virginia Code 15.2-1427D states that ordinances must be amended or repealed in the same manner that they're adopted. This amended ordinance was neither advertised nor even drafted, for that matter. The amended ordinance was also supposed to be for all county employees. So my second question is, who will actually get this bonus? Will the county offices such as the treasurer, commissioner of revenue, Commonwealth attorney, clerk's office? Mr. Lester stated in the discussion on the budget that he had 168 county employees. So does that include all of DSS and these other county offices? Normally they're considered as state employees. I worked at the commissioner's office 8 years before moving to DSS. We were counted as state employees. So who is actually going to get this bonus? But in closing, I want to express that I think it sets a very dangerous precedent that a governing board can completely change an ordinance, vote on it, and pass it without it even existing.
Thank you, Ms. Hess. Right on time. Appreciate it. Okay, the next public comment we have on our list is Alex Bartley. Ms. Bartley?
Let me just go. Okay. So 3 minutes is not near enough, and I'm going to have to cut out quite a few details, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I guess to help you guys understand why I'm here, I have been born and raised in Russell County. I'm 27 years old, Honecker High School graduate. Played softball since I was 5. Was a part of the 2013 VHSL State Championship. Won state 3 years in a row with Little League. Graduated from high school, college with a psychology degree, and recently graduated with my master's for professional human development and then school counseling. The main reason that I'm here is because for the past 3 years I've been coaching at Castlewood High School, as well as coaching a travel team based out of Castlewood. We are having a huge issue finding a field to practice these girls on in their own community. I guess to summons it, these girls have worked extremely hard for the past 3 years. They are being talked about all over our community for their vast improvement, how respectful they are. Umpires are wanting to official their games. They're a huge deal right now. And we can't even get a field in Castlewood to practice on because we can't get a schedule. And it's really unfortunate. In regards to that, the biggest issue is Mr. Bob Salyers. Steve Sutherland worked wonderfully with us last year. He was over top of the field. He provided a key. He was always there to assist if there was a problem with lights, if there was a problem with the lawnmower. I drug the field after every single practice, and they said that the field was in the best condition it had been in years. So there should not be a reason to where they couldn't use it this year, I would think. Last year, Mr. Bob Salyers disrupted our practice. He came onto the field in the middle of practice, demanding to know who I was, asking if we had permission to use the field. Raising his voice, he got in my face, he clenched his fists. It was pretty traumatic for these girls. They were 11 to 13 years old. The girls wrote letters to the school board advising how they felt about the situation, and all of them had said that they were upset, they were sad, they felt uncomfortable, they felt, just not well at all. After he had left that incident, I was told a lot of stories about Mr. Salyers engaging in hostile ways. Recently, a story that he got into an 8U's softball coach's face about leaving the lights on, and that was just within the past month. There's a lot of issues. He was told by a higher up that he was to provide a schedule to us by Monday, May 23rd, for us to be able to use the Little League field, and it is now June 6th, and I've yet to receive a schedule. These girls are having to practice in open fields, and we have a tournament next weekend. We have a majority of Castlewood girls, and to be honest, we have 10 Russell County girls that are unable to use a Russell County field. So that's the biggest issue, and at some point, the kids have got to come first. I feel like that the power and, it's more about who can tell who to do what, who has power over who, instead of the girls coming first, and it's a huge issue.
Thank you, Ms. Bartley.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is there, before I close public comments, is there anyone else? All right. Introduce yourself, and you've got 3 minutes.
My name's Lynn Hess, I'm from Sawyer Creek, and I'd like to just make a comment about the agenda. When is the agenda set for this board? When is the deadline for the agenda to be set? As of 5 o'clock this evening, it still wasn't on the public website to even know what was gonna be going on here tonight. It was 3:30 today before the agenda ever got on Facebook, so that's one of my concerns. Another concern I have is, I think you ought to raise this comment section from 3 minutes to 4 minutes. We've got things that's very important to us to talk to you about, and if we can't get it all out in 3 minutes, we need 4. If we can't get it in 4, we need 5. I think we need to bump that up. According to what I read, it's highly suggested 3 minutes, not a permanent 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hess. Moving along to the county attorney, reports and requests. Oh, constitutional officers. I'm sorry. Wait just a minute. I normally don't allow that, but I asked for that, so you can come up here and introduce yourself. I'll give you your time also. But I would encourage you guys to be kind to and not be derogatory toward other people, because there's no one here to defend themselves. And so I'm just gonna say that.
Yes, ma'am.
Take your time.
On that day, I was there, and when he come up, he was in her face. It was really disrespectful in front of the girls. But I've got a 14-year-old daughter also, and after they had finished their conversation, she's out in left field. He walks out with a guy that Miss Bartley had called to tell him that she was there. And my daughter was just, she was already paying attention to what and all he was saying, because it bothered all the girls. Well, he turned around and started telling my girl, don't worry about what I'm doing, just start paying attention to yourself. And it was very disrespectful to her, Miss Bartley, and all the parents there. He should not have said anything to her, and he shouldn't have said anything to the children at all. So, thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome. Could I get your name and address, please?
Craig Boyd.
I can't hear you.
Craig Boyd.
Craig Boyd.
Yeah, I live in Van Sant, Virginia.
Van Sant.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, county attorney reports and requests. I got constitutional officers and nobody raised their hand, right? All right. County, we're gonna get to you, Ms. Patton, county attorney. Thank you.
I don't have to press, okay, I'm still getting used to that I don't have to press the button, sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair. The only thing that I have for the board's consideration tonight is something that's been in the works for several years, just about the whole time that I've been county attorney, and we're finally able to get this property. It's being donated to the Russell County Board of Supervisors by Contura. It is some property in Dank that I think is used in conjunction with the Dank Community Association, if I'm not mistaken. And so I have worked with Mr. Paul Mullins, and I was provided a deed last week, and I have reviewed it. There is one small change that I missed initially as I was just looking at the language in the deed, but they have put in there that it's going to Russell County, and that's incorrect. It would need to be the Board of Supervisors of Russell County, and so I would just ask the board to approve the deed at this time with that one change.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve this as presented by Ms. Patton.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. All in favor? Or wait, any discussion? And I'm sorry, anybody need to discuss anything about this donated property from Contura Coal? All right, I'll call for the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. All right, the next thing we have, oh, Ms. Patton, is that all for you today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. That's one of your shorter ones, isn't it? All right, we're going to go over to the county administrator reports and requests, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First on the county administrator reports is the Vdot Route 19 safety project schedule. This is a schedule that was made up for the Route 19 project that everyone knows that goes down to Elk Garden. What the proposal is for Vdot to, on US 19 North will be lowered to achieve the required stopping distance and the radius through the horizontal curve. And this is the project everyone knows about. It's the Tiller Trailer Park and the Elk Garden School. This is a $4.9 million project that was awarded to Russell County that will begin. Actually, we've already started the preliminary engineering right now, and we're into the process of right-of-way. So this project is proceeding on. I wanted to inform the board. This project is proceeding, and it will be completed and finalized through construction phase, which will end on November 2026 under Vdot.
Thank you.
Next on the county administrator reports is Russell County again was selected by VACO to be the Region 12 and 13 legislative meeting location. VACO contacted myself and wanted to acknowledge that the Board of Supervisors of Russell County is a central location and wanted to set up the region for August the 23rd from 1 to 3 p.m. for the VACO Regional 12 and 13 meeting. So I needed, that will be coming and advertised through the Virginia Association of Counties, and then we'll be partnering with them on some other things, and I'll inform the board on future board meetings. Next, on the county administrator request, of course, again, it's a Vdot resolution. This is a notice of intent to abandon T1211 portion of Route 82 to the town of Cleveland, to the town's water tank, and the Cleveland Barrens. Of course, this is Route T1211 Turkey Knob, which is currently an unimproved route in the secondary system, which accesses the town of Cleveland's water tank. So that tells you where it's at. And the Cleveland Barrens Recreation Area. And in with discussions with the Department of Transportation and the Department of Conservation and Recreation, DCR is requesting that this to be closed and only one public access to the Barrens off of Route 1207 Tank Hollow Road. I have spoken with the representative in that area and DCR and VDOT, and this cuts off public access and gives them only one access into that area. I will need a motion for approval.
I'll entertain a motion for the VDOT resolution to close or abandon T1211.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from Mr. Ray. I need a second.
I'll second.
I'll take it from Mr. Christian. Mr. Eaton yielded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next on the county administrator request is the VDOT resolution closing a portion of Route 615 Red Oak Ridge Road for reconstruction of Virginia Structure 6145. Of course, this is bridge structure. Russell County Board of Supervisors hereby concurs with the Virginia Department of Transportation the decision to close Route 615 Red Oak Ridge Road at Virginia Bridge Structure 6145, approximately 0.19 miles from Route 732 Crooked Branch Road to through traffic from June the 13th, 2022 until completion of the bridge reconstruction pursuant to subsection 33.2-238 of the Code of Virginia. I need a motion for approval for the closure of this road beginning June the 13th.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. I need a second to close it.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lovelace. We're slow on this right now. Any discussion?
Yeah. What's the projected completion? This is a bridge across the river there.
That's correct. And here, as an engineer, you'll understand during this time with materials, they're not going, there's.
How long? What's your restriction?
Bridges are. Yes, bridges are a big one if you're not into the material issue. Right now, you're probably looking at 9 months, maybe. So, they couldn't guarantee that either, so.
So, on another note, so is, this is what I wanted to ask. Is Vdot going to help us on the Booty Road side, which could use a little management over there if we're gonna have high volume traffic?
It's gonna be a long way around to get back into Kansas.
It's gonna be a long way around. But I
Well,
mean,
not from the Hurls Valley side.
That's true.
So they're, on that side, they're gonna they're gonna be landlocked. They're gonna have to go down Booty. And then from the old Castlewood side, they're gonna have to go back down River Road or back around on Trout Farm Road, back to Memorial Drive. So I'm just wondering,
Well, I'm like Ms. Wallace here. I mean, anytime we do this, there needs to be some sort of informational part of this goes to the public on redirection of route to get them through safely.
And they do that, and they will be doing that. That's part of the requirement. What I will do, I will get an updated route listing, and we'll make sure that VDOT's got it published out on the rerouting. That comes out of Bristol District, and of course, anytime they close a route or bridge, that will be published in the local papers, and we'll make sure it's up on the website and what we've got to. And I'll also produce it back to the board in the area of impact.
I'd like to see part of that information disclosed in the VDOT resolutions. As far as, can they do that? Can they add an enhanced amount of information that they're gonna do those procedures and nothing falls? And how long?
That I can ask that question.
Well, I mean, just to ask.
I can ask that question, absolutely.
okay, any further discussion? Thank you, Mr. Breeding, for bringing that up. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next on the county administrative request is the Dane Steam Building Restoration Project contract. This is a contract that is based off of the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development that was awarded for the Dane Steam Building Restoration Project back on the 18th of March of 2022 for $50,000. This is an approval for the Dane Steam Building Restoration Project through the DHCD planning grant awarded to Dialogue and Design and Associate for $34,000 plus reimbursable expenses. I need a approval for this contract.
I'll entertain a motion for the Dane Steam Building Restoration Project.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Eaton. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Ms. Dye. All in favor? Oh, any discussion? All right. I will give you a little bit. It is a planning grant, and it was awarded in the tune of $50,000. And this will set the stage for a larger IRF or Industrial Revitalization Fund grant. Thank you all for supporting this. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Lester.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next on the county administrative request, of course, at the time the agenda was done last week, the county budget for a public workshop. As of today, the governor still has not signed the final approval of the budget, and they have not released the numbers yet. So we're still yet into a holding pattern. So some of the agencies, he implied from the conversation on Friday that he would need 3 to 5 days for the amendments and approval of the budget. So the best bet would be to, based off of what he had said, so we're looking at the week of the 13th through the 17th. If you push it this week, it would be too hard.
I'm gonna be gone 10th through the 17th.
10th through the 17th.
Necessarily mean
I got a question. Since I guess the budget committee is working consistently on the budget, but can the budget committee provide us some sort of informational type in regards to what the recommendations are before we meet on the workshop?
On what the budget?
It's all level funding, isn't it? Is
Yeah.
it's not a change from our last budget year?
Right now,
My
I'm,
understanding.
I have,
Funding's the issue.
yeah, that's, see, my state and federal numbers determine y'all's numbers of contribution. So I don't want to corner you, I don't want to put y'all in a bind that you don't need to be in. So I know it. We have our numbers again. We state this every meeting. You know, the county's got our numbers, and you know, everything is set. The tax rates has been set. Everything is in place. We know our revenue. We're pretty good at this. So, if based off the Code of Virginia, if we didn't have the workshop, but to get the workshop to get through our final numbers, next the county must have a public hearing, which is next on my agenda. So. After the workshop, we have to have a public hearing on it by the code. Then, in the Code of Virginia, then 7 days from the notice, from the public hearing, y'all get to approve the budget. You can't do the public hearing and approve the budget in the same night. There's got to be a 7-day window that you come back and approve the budget. That way it gives the community an opportunity to have input into the county budget if they have any comments. So in reality, you have the workshop, the public hearing, and approval of the budget, which is 3 meetings. So that's what we're trying to set tonight. Most of the counties, and give you a little clarity, Washington County, Dixon County, Tazewell County is holding the final approval of the budget either on the 28th or the 29th of June. That's how close they're cutting this, to be able to get through their workshops, public notices and hearings, and then approvals. So that's the final one. But we need at least one workshop but we also need the state numbers to work this workshop, and then hold the public hearing. So how soon can we, if he gives us the numbers, you know, and I talked to the schools today, the courts, they're still in limbo. They can't give us what we need. I mean, they're still sitting out there waiting. They're waiting on the numbers to arrive. So.
Okay, does anybody have any dates that we can start dealing with? Ms. Dye?
All the county agencies have met and given us their, what it's gonna take to operate each one of their offices, like, the Commissioner of Revenue, the Treasurer's Office, court system, Sheriff's Office. They've all met and told us what they need and what they expect to have with their budget. So we do have all that. We know what our county people need and wish to operate on. We're just waiting on to see what the state's gonna send us.
So let me ask you this, and I may have missed it, turning pages over here, so I apologize. But how many days don't we have to advertise this public notice, or? Okay, so how many days do I need to do that? Refresh us again?
Again, at the workshop, you can reconvene for the workshop. At the workshop, you can set the public hearing date. When you set that public hearing date, you got 7 days by the Code of Virginia from the public hearing to approve the budget. So, public hearing to the public approval is 7 days.
You can't prove it within that 7 days.
You cannot. You have to wait 7 days.
Oh my gosh.
So let me give you a solution. So if we approve it on the 29th, which is the 29th of June, which is a Wednesday, that's the final budget approval. You would advertise it actually it would go out in the paper. So you're looking at the 21st for the public notice. So that would give you more than 7 days. It would actually be 8, or 9. That would be okay. At a minimum, you have to advertise it for 7 days. Your workshop, is the way I was looking at it, was the 13th through the 17th. I'm sorry, Steve. You see, I was doing one per week to move it through. And let's see if this is a solution. Do you want to participate can he participate? He can participate by phone or video, right? He can't vote. It's a workshop anyway.
I can't remember, did the board pass a remote
Wait a minute.
participation policy?
Sorry, do that from a golf cart.
Stephen don't want to do it. I don't know that this board ever passed a remote participation policy. That's what I asked Linda. I can't remember. If we didn't, you can't participate.
I don't think we did.
We did.
We had one for COVID, but then when that
Right.
ordinance.
Yes, we
was
had the
repealed.
continuity of governance, and that took care of some things, but then we haven't passed that. So Mr. Breeding is off the hook. He can be on the golf course. It's where he intends to be.
Is that what you?
He's on vacation. We can't do that to him.
Okay.
I just don't understand how we can, good, bad, or ugly, come to a conclusion till we know what the state's gonna do. I mean, I don't know how you can, what are we meeting on?
Well, see,
If you don't know.
okay.
You can have an alternative plan.
Yes. Well, see, what we're lacking right now in the equation is the federal and state numbers. That would determine whether you have to participate more or not to make these other operations more. You're going to give more, you might have to give more to the courts or the sheriffs. We don't know their numbers to balance yours. And I mean, until those numbers come in, we can't get to the net effect.
I mean, you can estimate anything.
But
So
based
let me-
off what the governor said, he said, I will have it signed and the amendments done in 3 to 5 days.
So let
Now,
me
I'm
ask
going
you,
off what Youngkin said.
what is our sister counties, what are they doing? They're gonna wait till the last minute to do
Their
this.
final budget, I
But
talked to
they're-
Washington County, Tazewell County, Dixon County, Lee and Scott was all at the final budget approval is either on the 28th or the 29th.
And we're required by law to have,
Approved by June 30th.
and a workshop.
The workshop is at the board's discretion. I
So
mean,
if we all say, we can't make that happen, are we ready to move forward?
you would have to set a public hearing, and I would have to set the numbers that the budget committee had done.
Okay, guys, we're gonna have a workshop. All right,
And the public hearing has to be advertised 7 days
Yes.
as well. So whenever, I guess it would be kind of important to try to figure out what that date may be, because you're gonna have to give a week's notice of it as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I said I was trying to utilize all 3 weeks. I was hoping that the governor would have them out by the day or by tomorrow, and us plug the numbers quick and have a workshop either Thursday or Friday. That way, we could do it as quick as possible, and that would give us the remaining 3 weeks to meet the public notice requirements and approve it. But he still has not released it as of right before the board meeting, so. And that doesn't mean he won't release it tonight. I mean, everybody is sitting on the sidelines. All counties and municipalities is sitting on the sidelines right now, so.
so it's either next week, one day next week for
You
the
have to.
workshop,
You have to,
or it could be Friday of this week.
if you have the state and federal numbers, yes, ma'am. That's what I was figuring.
Okay, what's the board's pleasure? Let's move along. We already know Mr. Breeding is out all next week.
Mr. Lester, are you suggesting that we go ahead and have the workshop without the numbers? Or still saying wait till we get the numbers from the governor?
Well, you have to have the numbers from the governor. You have to be able to figure your participation.
If we say Friday, you may not have the numbers by then.
Well, if you say Friday and you set the workshop for Friday, and the numbers do not come in, you would have to cancel the meeting. Yes, you would have to come back and reconvene for another day, so.
But won't we set it for at least Monday then?
I think you're gonna just have to leave it up to the budget committee, and the guidance that they've been placed on the budget committee for that reason, so. I don't know how you can set things that you don't know.
So Mr. Lovelace is telling me down here that the 16th is the absolute drop dead time
For the public notices.
to make sure that we're getting it all in
is correct.
per
You don't have any choice.
law. So that's it. Mr. Lester, give us a date and let's do this.
16th, 23rd, and 30th. That's fine.
Right, Katie? That's 16th, that's the date.
The 16th is the last day to give that notice. And so if you
Yes.
give the notice of the public hearing on the 16th and have it 7 days after that, and then have the public hearing, and then vote on the and then you don't vote on the budget, but you publish it, and then you vote on it 7 days after that. So that's, I mean, I guess you could go ahead, I mean, you all want to have a workshop, but I guess you could, in theory, you could go ahead and set your public hearing later out in the month, because that way you've given that 7 days notice. But you just need to make sure that when you have that and you figure out the numbers for the budget, you still have the 7 days to pass it before July 1st.
7 days notice.
You could always have a special called meeting for a workshop instead of just reconvening once you get the numbers.
Okay. All right, how does everybody feel about that?
When it comes to.
All right, so let's get let's get a public hearing then.
You can do the first public hearing, let's say by the 15th of June.
Steve is out. Steve's out.
See, I'd have to have it because it's gotta go in the Lebanon paper, and I gotta have it in by the 20th, so to be able to get it by the 28th or 29th. There's no way I can get the 7-day reporting requirement.
You just went back into it.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I've got. I was backing it up myself. That's what we're doing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was doing.
That gives us the 16th is it.
16th, that's it.
Make it happen, Mr. Lester.
Set a date.
Okay, let's set the, let's back into it first. So let's,
Jeez, Louis. You ain't gonna, if you have a public hearing, what are you gonna tell the public?
I'll have the budget. We have the budget by the 16th.
Well, I'm just saying. Set a date.
All right, public hearing will be set for the 15th of June. What time does it the board's pleasure?
Yeah, that afternoon,
5,
I'd like-
6?
yeah,
3, 4, 5, 6.
Make it as late as you possibly can.
yeah.
Let's say 5 o'clock,
No,
6?
yes,
Okay, yes, ma'am.
or further. That's a public hearing.
15th of June for the public hearing.
You need to keep it right at the meeting time, so don't confuse the public.
7 days. The hearing's what's gotta be in paper.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Patton, are we good
Yeah, we're gonna have to, yeah, I know it, we're gonna have to back it up.
again?
See the Lebanon News.
Oh, dear.
The issue is that the public hearing has to be, published once in a newspaper having general circulation, and so we've already missed the deadline to get it in this week's paper.
See, the Lebanon News only publishes once a week, so that kicks us into the 14th immediately. Even this week as of today. I can publish it in the Bristol Herald, and I've done it before, so. And the website, and post it in the courthouse and on Facebook and the rest, and still have a circulation.
Well, I'd say that's what you're gonna have to do.
Do it.
Okay. So 15th at 6 o'clock on 2022 is the public hearing. You good with that, Katie? Mm-hmm. Okay. And set the final budget approval for the 29th of June at the same time, 6 p.m.
Yes, I'm good with that, if this board is good with that. I'm seeing heads shake.
6 p.m. Okay. And we'll call a special call meeting as soon as we get the governor's numbers. Because see, you've got to remember, the governor is carrying the federal numbers too, so you will get them both at the same time.
Okay, so we just took care of number 6 and number 7. Do we have a motion? We need a motion on both of these.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, board.
Okay. I'll make that motion that we will, on the 15th at 6 o'clock will be our public hearing, and it will be posted in the Bristol Herald, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then our budget approval will be Wednesday, the 29th at 6 o'clock.
Okay, we have a motion. I need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we discussed it much before this, so I'm not going to allow for more discussion. All right, and the public workshop will happen when we can make it happen, right?
Call a
So-
special call meeting.
Yes, thank you
Yes,
very
ma'am.
much.
And do y'all, on the special call meeting, you also want it at 6 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Next on the county administrator request is the, of course, item number 8, the Board of Supervisors of Cumberland Industrial Facility Board Member resignation of Ms. Luann Wallace. Acceptance of the resignation from the, as the CIFA Board Member resignation.
I'll entertain a motion to accept my resignation from the CIFA Board.
So moved.
I have a motion. I need a second.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I oppose.
Motion. Two oppositions. Okay. Motion carries.
And Madam Chair, I'd like to make the motion that we reappoint Ms. Rebecca Dye to the CIFA Board.
I have a motion for Rebecca Dye to finish out her term on the CIFA Board. I need a second.
I'll make a second.
Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I oppose.
Okay, thank you, Carl.
Yeah, opposed.
We have 3 oppositions, and motion carries. I'm a yes. Thank you. Ms. Dye will go back on the CIFA Board. She will continue her term until her term is finished. Thank you. All right, next, moving on, Mr. Lester, surplus of county vehicles.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Of course, next item on county administrator request is the surplus of county vehicle 2008 Chrysler van that is being requested by the Russell County Schools. This van is in disarray really is the word for it, but it needs a transmission. They've agreed to do all the upgrades and repairs to it to utilize it around the school for various projects and hauling around student stuff and furniture. So I need approval for the 2008 Chrysler van to be surplus to the Russell County Schools.
I have a motion. Oh, no, I don't. I need a motion.
I'll make it.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Very good. Thank you. Any discussion? I will say, remember that the workforce development is looking for vehicles, so anytime. All right. We have a motion and a second. I'll entertain anything else. Nothing? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To answer on the Workforce Development Board, we're pulling all the remaining titles that are the vehicle setting out here and giving them away. Vicky's already working on that component, so we'll have that ready for the BEX board meeting. Yes, ma'am. Okay, next on the county administrator request is the Board of Supervisors July the 2022 board meeting, another decision for board day. So, of course, this is the July the 4th weekend. The board files on July the 4th. So,
How about the 11th?
Next time.
next Monday, same time, 6 p.m. That's up to y'all.
On a Monday.
Yes, sir.
I can still meet all the contractual requirements and payables by that time. That's sufficient
That was
amount of
my
time.
next question.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry. Thank you
No,
for
you're
telling
welcome.
me. So we've got this all in hand, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. My fellow board members, are you good with July 11, 6 o'clock, July board meeting? I'm seeing everything. So I guess we need a motion for that.
I'll make it.
Thank you, Mr. Eaton. I need a second.
I'll
Second.
second.
All right. Thank you, guys. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Lester?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next on the county administrator request is another VDOT. This is for another project on Route 58. This was requested actually this morning for a resolution of support that has made it through the smart scale application process through the Bristol District on the Route 58. This is a resolution of support of Route 58, alternate turn lane improvements at the Sundown Drive project in Russell County, which is fully supported and endorsed by the Russell County Board of Supervisors for the smart scale application and funding process. I need approval for the Route 58 Sundown Drive project for the Virginia Department of Transportation resolution.
I'll make that motion. We accept this.
Thank you, Ms. Dye. I need a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Lester.
Madam Chair, that concludes the county administrator reports and requests.
Okay, and I guess that concludes this board meeting today. So I will officially call us adjourned.
Was you gonna ask if any board members had anything to bring up?
Oh,
Board
Well-
discussion and remarks?
we will have a little board discussion. Okay. Mr. Lovelace, you
I'm
got
good.
anything?
No, thank you.
I thought we just about beat everything to death and wore our calendars out. Mr. Ray?
No, I don't have anything.
Mr. Eaton?
Yes, I do, Ms. Wallace. I need to make a motion, actually, I guess, on this. I talked to county administrator about the Spearhead Trail project. From in Honaker, like you're going out toward Drill, from the railroad tracks out to Stone Bridge, I need to file a request to get the speed limit reduced to 35 miles an hour.
How, if I can interrupt you, how soon do you really need that?
Need it pretty quick. I mean, they need to put it in their plan.
Okay, can we take care of this at our next board meeting?
On the speed, we can at the July, because if you and Katie can chime in, if you call a special call meeting, it's specifically
Yes, thank you. Okay, gotcha.
just for the budget.
All right.
I need to make a motion for this request to have it lowered with VDOT. What's the procedure?
The first procedure will be just a letter from me rather than an affordable board. So I will go ahead and do that, and I'll copy the board, and then I'll have it for the next July board packet.
Okay, that'd be
How's that?
fine. That'd be
Ask
fine.
for a speed study.
Also, while you're talking to VDOT, I've had a lot of people in my districts call about grass cutting or weed cutting on the side of the road on secondary roads.
Oh, Lord.
It's everywhere.
Thank you.
Well, and then the next thing I would like to have, if Katie would, is to provide me and the board in a legal, something on this ordinance that Ms. Hess brought up tonight. I'm really concerned about that because I made a motion to have the ordinance initiated. And for some odd reason, some of the things that she had spoke on tonight resonated to the fact that, did we do this right? Was it legal? Did we follow procedure? I'm really concerned about that because I want to know the answers to it. And I want to know, the motion was made to give the county employees a bonus, but it wasn't specified of who those exactly were and how many they are. So I would like that information be provided to me.
I'll be happy to do that.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Patton.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Eaton. Mr. Breeding?
I really don't have anything to gripe about, but as I was reading all the literature that goes along with the budget, I ran across the Planning Commission minutes for April the 18th, and it's just, you're on the Planning Commission, aren't you, Horace?
Yes.
Yeah. It shows Jack Compton and Keith Ray present, but it also shows Jack Compton and Keith Ray absent. So just need to change minutes one way or the other.
Well, that's, Ernie McFadden.
Ernie, okay.
No problem.
They're in heart and mind there, but it wasn't physical.
That's it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Breeding. Ms. Dye?
No, nothing tonight.
Mr. Christian?
I'll skip it.
All right. And Ms. Wallace has nothing, but thank you, guys. I appreciate your coming, and Whoa, are you looking at me that I need to say
Yeah.
something, Mr.
I
Webster?
was, I was wanting to respond to Mr. Eden.
Okay.
The county has reached out to the Attorney General's office for a ruling too. So, of course, we wanted to do what was legally right. So we are pushing for a legal ruling from the Attorney General rather than the county attorney. We're pushing. So we should have that soon.
Thank you for that explanation. I appreciate that. Okay, all hearts and minds clear. I do adjourn this meeting. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Lonzo, well, that confuses me.